your business is not only leaking revenue, but having higher customer acquisition costs because of your show rate. My name is Usman Kayani, and I'm the founder of Guided Growth. I went from a sales rep to a sales director over the course of 10 years. Then I spent the last 3 to 4 years consulting some of the biggest sales teams in the industry, multiple 7- and 8-figure teams. Key stats that you should be aware of: 50% of book calls don't show up across online businesses. Leads that receive more than 3 touch points before the call are 40% likely to show up. 40%, just if you add these simple confirmations in. A well-structured confirmation process will double your attendance. If you add a great confirmation process, which will hand you that framework in this video, you'll be able to double the amount of attendance rate that you're getting on calls. And a 75% show rate should be your standard. It should be the absolute minimum that you're willing to accept. Let's fix your show rate with this 5-step process. The first step is to fix the root cause of no-shows. There's 4 main reasons that your show rate is poor while you're getting no-shows. It's that they forgot the call. You didn't have the confirmations of emails and texts, all the basic stuff that you can just plug in. That'll take you half an hour to put into your business. That's hurting it. So that's the biggest leverage point that you can gain. Just the confirmations, making sure all of those are there. They don't see the value in actually showing the call. So they don't think that call would lead to them seeing a benefit in their problem or struggle. So they have a problem. That's why they clicked on your information. But they didn't see that as valuable enough to give their time. So they have the problem, but they're not willing to show up for your solution or your call because it wasn't important enough. And you need to be able to emphasize how important it is by finding that problem and then widening that problem. And they booked impulsively and lost interest before the call. So they just had that feeling, you know what, I'll do it, I'll try it. And then after a while, it's like, I'm not so bothered. No different to when you've gone in the store and you've seen a nice t-shirt. You see the t-shirt and you're like, oh, I like this t-shirt, it looks really nice. And you see it, oh, I love it, but I'm just not sure. I'm not sure about getting it. And then you'll think, you know what, maybe I'll come back. I'll just go, leave the store, walk around for a bit, and then I'll come back and get it. Then you leave and you think, nah, I'm not bothered. It was impulsive. And when it's impulsive, you just tend to think, I'll just leave it now. So you want to be able to capture those impulsive buyers with a great process. And they don't trust your brand yet. And you've not built enough credibility and excitement. Because would you cancel a call with Alex Hormozi? Would you show up? Hormozi's show rate will be 95 or 100%. Would it be 90%? He's not going to have just a 75% show rate if he's booking sales calls, is he? So your brand also matters on your show rate. If you had a really important call with someone that you really look up to, you're going to show up. If it's with some Joe Schmo online, you'll be like, I'm not that bothered, to be honest. Maybe I'll show up. Maybe I'll just reorganize it. I'll just reschedule it. I actually had a call reschedule just before this video. Whose fault is it? Mine. If I had a stronger brand, he would have never disrespected me by saying, oh, something came up, I'm a bit busy. The disrespect is for me to fix. Fix your brand, fix your confirmations. And that's what triggered me to think, well, you know what? This is a video I'm going to film because it was actively happening for me. And I thought, if I'm going through it, you're going through it, we're going to fix it for you. Step 2 is to optimize the booking process to minimize drop-offs. So pre-qualify leads as they book. So ask 3 to 5 key questions. Like if you see our booking link below on fixing your sales team, we ask very specific questions. Where's your sales team at now? How big is your sales team? How much revenue on? Because then quickly we know how relevant that call is. If you're just a founder with one person in your team or just you doing all the selling and we are at 500K a year revenue, we know specifically on how we can help you. If you're at 10 million a year and you've got a sales team of 35 people, between setters, closers, and VAs, we know it's a very different thing that you're going to be doing with your team. So depending on the size of your business, when you answer those key questions, we know how we can help you. And that will elicit different sequences and responses. Because if you're the new founder who's got a new business and you're just starting closing yourself and you're looking for your first sales rep, we're going to send you a very different video to a team with multiple pods, multiple sales teams. Because for those people, we're going to send very different content. It can't be the basic stuff. They've already got systems and processes in. So we need to make sure it's all relevant. And an instant confirmation page. So after they book, it's an instant thank you page. So in the funnel process, you'll call it like a thank you page. In some businesses, you call it a confirmation page. But you want to make sure that's all set up right after the booking. And then they get a call to action to say, check your calendar, make sure you've accepted it. So if you're doing a thank you page video, the first thing that you'll say in your thank you page video, it will say something like, hey, thank you for booking this call. I'm really excited to speak to you. It could be someone from my team or myself. And if you check your email, you'll be able to see our invite might have landed in the junk box. If you want to go and accept that for us now, before we watch the rest of this video, I'm just going to pause for a second, and then I can show you what to expect on the call. I'm just going to pause for 20 seconds whilst you do that. Pause. And then tell them, now we'll carry on. You've literally talking them through confirming that call whilst on the thank you page. And it will increase the amount of calls that get confirmed. If it's confirmed, it's on their calendar. If it's on their calendar, the more likely to show up. The bigger the business, the more likely they'll show up. If it's B2C, they might not be using their calendar so much. Most B2C people don't. So you want to make sure you confirm in different ways. You might want to give them a call straight after. Depending on your market, we design that short confirmation process. Step 3 is to have a reminder system between emails, texts, and calls. So you'll have 24 hours before, you'll have an email and SMS reminder like, oh, hey, you've got this coming up. You'll send the email subject line is like, your call is tomorrow, quick reminder. So that way they'll see it in the subject line. So most people don't click onto emails, they'll just see the subjects and think, do I even want to click on that? Is that important? And you'll just put call is tomorrow. And an SMS like, hey, name, looking forward to your call tomorrow, reply yes to confirm. And just that yes allows them to confirm. They show that they care enough to reply yes. If they don't even reply yes to that, you know there's a risk of them not showing up instantly. So you want to be able to confirm that as well. 3 hours before the call, you'll confirm the call. Especially if it's high ticket, call them 3 hours before. And this is what I like to do with my calls. So I've got one script on here, which is just confirm the call for this time. Is that the best time for you? Do you need any help? Are you all good? Is it on Zoom? You got a computer? Whatever it is, whatever you need to ask them. And there's another way to actually do the confirmation call and how we've been doing them at the moment. And how you can steal my script. And it is where I'll call the prospect and say, hey, we've got a call at 3 p.m. today. Just wanted to ask you before our call, what's one or two things that I need to prepare for our call that might be on your mind? Sometimes if you ask that question, the objection that you'll get on the call, you'll actually get before the call and be able to prepare for it well in advance. So just by asking them what things that you need to prepare for the call, they'll tell you their big struggle and allow you to prepare for the call so much more, because you can provide assets. You might adjust your presentation, you might adjust your approach on the call, depending on what they've said. And then the third thing that you can do is at 30 minutes before the call, just drop an SMS reminder. There's not a thing as too many text messages. Yes, you can blast them for like 10 times, they'll get annoyed, but just do a day before, 30 minutes before. That seems to work really well. Hey, name, just a quick reminder. Our call starts in 30 minutes. See you soon. And that's if they replied yes the day before. Step 4 is to build urgency before the call. So your setting team would do this by really selling that call. Not just saying, hey, I'll book the call for you. They'll fix anything on the call. Really selling that call, giving them a reason to show up. You can even do a pre-call video where you'll send them a video before the call and you say, hey, just before the call tomorrow, this explains exactly what we do step by step. So it'll save us a lot of time on the call. So that's a great way to do that. You can even do an email or a video to say what to expect on our call. And you reinforce all the things that you fix and what you do as a business and some success stories. So you might be able to share a case study before their call as well. And the case studies that you can customize, if you have a CRM, you can have templates. And then in those templates, what you can do is, depending on their form, on what they've answered, you can have multiple templates and you can send those out before their call. So if someone booked a call with us and they said they have a team of 5 sales reps and 4 setters, we would send out an email before and we'll be able to provide a case study of a business similar to theirs so they know what we do exactly. So you can share a video and just say, hey, let me tell you a little bit about X person with a case study and show their journey. And that way it relates directly to them. And they think, oh shit, they've done businesses just like mine. And then you can make it even more specific by adding in some scarcity or exclusivity by saying we only work with X businesses. So you know that we only work a lot of the times with coach, consultants, and agencies, and we make it very specific on how we do that. Because if we help everyone, we don't actually help anyone. We can't make our product specific. So by making it more specific, we can zone into their problems even more. And spots are available. I don't want you to miss out. That isn't so much for B2B, but for B2C, that does work well. So in like a fitness program, you can do the spots are available. But when you're selling B2B and more expensive packages, you may not do that. And the final step, step 5 in this process, you've got 1 to 4. If you've got all those implemented, the last step that you want to put in is an incentive. So some people don't need this, and it also depends on the type of business you have. If you have a B2C type of business, you can put incentives. If it's if you show up, X will happen. But for B2B, what I like to do is more about placing the call as an audit on how they're going to get something on the call. So on this audit call, you're going to get this. So what we've been doing for our businesses is businesses will book for an audit on their sales team. And we'll do a genuine audit where we show up with a spreadsheet and be like, okay, can we check all of these things are there? CRM, tech, sequences, sales team, onboarding, training, hiring. We'll have a list of about 30 things and we'll audit their business. And by the end of the call, it'll be like, well, you've scored this. This is what's missing. And because you've provided genuine value and they now become problem aware, they're way more likely to buy because they'll say, how can we fix this? So rather than trying to pitch all the time, we just provide genuine value and then they're way more likely to buy. Because if we get our experts or myself to do an audit on a business, we can find out what's missing. And also, on a genuine level, if we know that we can help them, it'll be real, it'll be authentic. If we can't help them, they have everything already implemented, it's like, you don't actually need our help. Maybe you just need a bit of advice. Maybe you just need someone to tell you a couple of tips on a call, and we'll do that for them. Because then your brand will also have a stronger reputation because you're doing it the right way. And then make it feel like a big deal as well. It isn't just another sales call, it's a strategy call like we were saying, and I've prepared something for you. So how you would do, I've prepared something for you, would be in the confirmation call when you call earlier on, you'll say, hey, we got a call at 3 o'clock today, just making sure you've got the link and you've got everything ready. Just to let you know, I've prepped something for our call where you know exactly XYZ that they would have put on their type form. And that way they've got a reason now to show up. After this, your show rate will be fixed because if you put all of these 5 steps in your business, you would have fixed your show rate. And we've implemented this into hundreds of businesses. So we know that this will fix your show rate no matter where it's at right now. So it's easy for you to implement this. So your final takeaways are fix the root cause, not just optimizing, fix the actual root cause of what could be affecting the show rate. Use a strong booking process with a pre-call qualifier. So qualify them and send them videos and texts and confirmations. Have at least 3 touch points, email, text, and calls before. So that way there's enough touch points to remind them because it's a busy world. We lose attention very easy. We get distracted and there's other options. They could have inquired at 5 different places. So you want to be able to truly have enough touch points so they don't forget. And then you can also add urgency and scarcity to make sure they actually show up. And there's a reason for them to show up. You're asking someone for their time. You've got to respect their time. Give them a reason to actually show up. Finally, this Miro board is available to you that you can take, steal, and implement because some of these frameworks you might want to take from this board. If you click on the link in the community, you're joined for free. Take our entire resources and you can ransack this entire free community for whatever you like. There's a bunch of sales training, sales team meetings, and a bunch of resources on here. So log in and take whichever resources you want, like this Miro board. It's been nice coaching you on your show rate. If it's something that you have needed to fix, put it in the comments below that your show rate has been low and what you need to fix it, or what you have tried for your show rate. But maybe you just want to tell us what your show rate's at right now. Put it in the comments below. Let's create a small description in there. I'll catch you on the next video.